Alright, welcome. Here we are, descending out of flight level 323, 32,300 feet, on our approach into Fargo, North Dakota. Don't ask. We took off from Walla Walla this morning, and expecting about a... Looks like we're going to be at about... We're 1:43:29 right now. I think we'll be on the ground in about 16 minutes, so just a little more than 2 hours from Walla Walla to Fargo, North Dakota. Expecting touchdown in Fargo at about 4:30 Fargo time. 22:30 Zulu. 2:30 Pacific Standard Time where I am. Okay, we got a little work to do here, so let's get started. We're going to be landing runway 18 in Fargo. That's an ILS runway, which always makes me happy, so let's enter our ILS frequency 108.9. We'll activate that. There's also a VOR DME that we'll enter at Fargo 116.2, 62, and minimums are at 1,100 feet Barrow. We'll enter that as well. All right, well, that's taken care of. We'll set bearing 2 to nav 2, and what do you know? We're already getting data, navigational DME information from Fargo, 79.2 miles from the airport. Now again, that's as the crow flies. We're actually at 85 miles from the airport because you can see we're not just flying straight there. That wouldn't do us any good because we wouldn't be able to line up. So we're headed just slightly north of it to turn south. Kenny, K-E-N-I-E, is the waypoint between Kenny and the airport is 4.6 nautical miles. You see right there, Kenny and the airport, 4.6 nautical miles. And at Kenny, we want to be at 2,500 feet. So we're looking good right now. Lots of planes in the sky. Sorry, I was just checking something. Lots of planes in the sky, but most of them are going elsewhere. I don't expect to have any traffic issues landing at Fargo. Weather in Fargo is really, actually for December, pretty nice. I mean, I've never been to Fargo, but it seems all right. 48 degrees, mostly sunny. Winds are out of the west at 0 miles an hour. They were from the south when I took off. But anyway, no winds. Pressure's 3004, nice. Sunset's 4:38 p.m., and so we'll be landing about 8 or 9 minutes is my estimate. 8 or 9 minutes before sunset. So it'll be nice to have a landing where we can actually see things, as opposed to yesterday's landing in Walla Walla, which was, if you watch that video, very dramatic in terms of not being able to see anything and dealing with frozen fog and icing, and my minimums were 1,400 feet. I didn't see the runway until about 1,700 feet. It was very challenging. Had to plant the landing also because the runway length was only 20 or 6,200 feet. That's Lake Ashtabula. Looks like a river. It's a lake. And you gotta love the name, Lake Ashtabula. Anyway, we're descending nicely at 25,000 feet, 67 miles from the airport. Always doing my usual sort of quick tabulation in my head. 3,000 feet, 10 miles, 6,000 feet, 20 miles, 9,030, 18,060, and we're at 24 at 64, so we're going to slow us down.
Landing here.
Ignore that. And increase our rate of descent. The tailwind picked up really dramatically don't know if you can see that. It was about 35, now it's almost 60 knots, so that sped us along on our descent a little more aggressively, and as a result brought us in a little bit high, but it's easily corrected. We're not within range yet to activate nav 1 on bearing 1. We could, but we're not going to see anything. I'll just tell you right now. No data. So we'll keep it on GPS for now. We'll switch that over to nav 1 within about, maybe 30 miles of the airport. Not a river, a lake. What do you know? I use my ForeFlight app to kind of get my bearings sometimes when I'm looking out the window, just to kind of know. Speaking of looking out the window, let's do that. Always having to tinker with this a little bit, but still looks pretty... God, you just realize how vast this great breadbasket of America is. Go ahead and set our heading bug at our approach course, which is 176. That is the compass heading that we should expect to see when we're on final. 50 miles from the airport now, and still regrettably high. Again, nothing we can't address, but it's a commentary on the power of tailwinds. Still descending comfortably within the envelope of vertical speed of this aircraft. Right now at 3,000 feet per minute. Steep, I admit it. Not space shuttle steep, but we're descending quickly, and I need to be.
Transition altitude. Nearest altimeter 3003.
Nearest altimeter.
Landing gear.
Apparently
Landing
3.
gear.
Let's bring out the speed brakes.
Landing gear.
That's kind of to be
Landing.
expected when we're descending at this rate. Slow us down even more. Take us down to
Landing gear.
250.
Landing gear.
There we go. You can actually see those speed brakes deployed looking out the window. Whoops. Get rid of that. So you see those speed brakes right there. You see them? Just enough right there to usefully impact the airspeed. 44 nautical miles right now. We're looking a lot better in terms of our altitude. Again, remember, 3,000 at 10, 6,000 at 20, 9,000 at 30, and 12,000 at 40. We're at 14.6 right now. And you do have to adjust slightly for that because the airport's at 1,000 feet. I think the airport elevation is actually 901 feet, so that figures into it. Let's check our altimeter. Apparently, it's the nearest altimeter is 3003. We'll sync right now and see where it comes up as. Oh, nailed it! 3003. Bingo. That's nice. Slow to 250. Slow to 245. There's always about a 5-knot variance I've noticed on the airspeed. In other words, you set it to go to 250 and it'll go at 255. You set it to go at 245, it'll go at 250, and so forth. We're getting ready to descend below 10,000 feet though, and so we'll deactivate our bank angle limiter, and we need to be below 250. We're at 12,000 feet right now, 38 nautical miles from the airport. So we're in a lot better position now in terms of where we need to be vertically. We're going to have to shallow out our descent rate here in a moment, or we'll just shoot right below where we want to be vertically. Let's check to see if we have any sign yet of... No, but we're 30... I wouldn't expect to have ILS data at 36 miles out, but I'm still going to leave bearing 1 at nav 1, and we're going to start to shallow out now a little bit, bring in those speed brakes. Looking good. Showing 6 minutes 53 seconds from the airport. at our current speed, so it's probably more like 9.5 minutes. Don't see any other traffic in the area, but we'll zoom in here a little bit. A lot of little tiny airports in the area, but that's not where we're landing. Runway length here is 9,001 feet, so a little more generous than Walla Walla. And we don't have frozen fog and quarter-mile visibility. Not that I'm predicting anything about our landing. We're at just below 9,000 feet now and 31 miles, so we can shallow out even more. And begin slowing. Gonna hear that landing gear. There it is. Use the speed brakes. They're your friend. Just do yourself a favor and don't forget about them.
Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing
Slow to
gear.
200.
Landing gear. Landing gear.
And
Landing
as
gear.
the
Landing gear.
auto throttle responds, see what I mean? See, it's responding to the added drag that the speed brakes put on to the wings. Good, good. You can tell. You can see the sun is setting. Beautiful out. Look at that. Oh, wow. Wow. Love it. Screenshot. So, anyway, we will be on the ground before darkness. That's my expectation. 7,200 feet now and 26 miles, so we're going to slow us down a little more. Expect that landing gear alarm to come in again. There it is.
Landing gear. Landing gear.
Bring down those speed brakes. Slow us down to 165.
Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear.
There we go.
Landing gear. Landing gear.
This will
Landing gear.
move up
Landing
as the
gear.
drag becomes more problematic for the throttle, you see? Just like that. Showing 25 miles from the airport right now. We're at 6,700 feet, so we can shallow out our descent. You want to be at 6,000 feet at 20 miles. That all having been said, however, we want to be under the glide slope. So you don't want to fly in above the glide slope. And again, when it comes to the glide slope, just think of a slide, you know, at a playground. You want to intercept that not from above, because then you'll be chasing it all the way down. You want to intercept it from under so that you can get on that slide and make it all the way to the runway. We do have ILS information now. Still no DME information, but we do have glide path information. We're getting ready to make our right turn. Everything's going really, really well so far. Go ahead and activate our landing lights. And with our airspeed now below 180, we'll do 1 notch of flaps. 22 miles and 6,200 feet. Increase our descent rate again. Once we turn right and get established on the localizer and in a position to intercept the glide slope, we will switch over the FMS source to nav1 and switch this to APPR, which is the way that you would tell the autopilot that you want to fly the approach, which it should be able to do, and it will, I'm confident. Flap notch at 1, that's what we expected. Still looking like we're coming in beautifully. Set this to 160 with the understanding that it's really going to probably settle out at about 165. And estimated, as I said, a 4:30 p.m. Fargo, North Dakota. Their Central Standard Time. 4:30 arrival time. I'm thinking maybe 4:31. Terribly sorry. What the hell? Let's get our speed up a little bit. What do you think? See if there's any chance we can make that 4:30 arrival time. And when I say arrival, of course, that's wheels down. Beautiful sunset. Look at that. Wow. There's the airport. Wow. God, I love this game. Jesus. Okay. 4,900 feet. Shallow out. I'm going to be at 4,500 feet at 15 miles from the airport. And again, that's actually lower slightly than we need to be, which I'm fine with because you want to, as I said, fly in under the glide slope. This ALTS will switch over to GS. It'll be white. Once we hit the APPR, and then once as that diamond, which will turn green, begins to descend, it will, hold on one second, it will grab the glide slope. You actually see we do have those cyan arrows right there pointing towards the airport. One of those is the VORDME, 23.8 nautical miles to FAR, Fargo, FAR, Foxtrot Alpha Romeo. The other one is India Alpha Alpha Mike, which is the code for the ILS frequency. So we're starting to make that right turn. Showing 4 minutes, 43 seconds. Despite my best efforts, I don't know that we're going to make that 4:30 arrival time. Keep it under 180 in any event. Look at that sun. Look at the sun on the instrument panel. Oh my God, how do they do this? There's the airport. Right there. That's our runway. Right there. Turning just beautifully. Look at, oh, screenshot. God almighty. Okay, turning beautifully. Much as I want to keep our speed up, I'm going to have to slow down eventually. Showing us 13 nautical miles from the airport. So we're going to hit APPR now. Switch this over to nav 1. There we go. Good. Looking good. You can actually see what's happening here is this is telling us that basically we need to fly this way. This will move over as this center line hooks up with this is the CDI, course deviation indicator. And we do have APPR approach. There it goes. You see we now have white GS, and it just grabbed, turned green right there. Perfect timing. So we're going to slow it down now. I don't have any choice. Sorry, passengers. Another notch of flaps, and we'll put our gear down. Set at 155. Beautiful. Overshot it slightly. You can see there's the runway, but we're landing back up right now. Look at that sunset. Oh, Jesus. Beautiful. Another screenshot. Get these floodlights up in the cockpit a little more. All right. Landing gear confirmed. Is down. Confirm full flaps now. And confirm gear down. Auto throttle responding appropriately. Winds are out of the west at 9 knots, just like it said. Real weather. Not really a crosswind, just kind of blowing us, you know, it's coming directly from our right. I love the sunset. Ah, I just keep taking screenshots. Look at that. Hey, I said we were going to land 8 minutes before sunset, sure enough. Okay, showing 7.5 nautical miles now. No need to fiddle around with altitude controls or anything like that. We are established on the localizer and the glide slope, and if you zoom in, I see white and red on the Vossi. I looked at an airport diagram. Appears as though parking is off at the very end of the runway, off to the left. Slow us down to 150. Your speed indicator showing 149. That's exactly what we want. Lined up. Perfect. Perfect. Let's grab one more screenshot. I always have a lot of these when I finish a flight. Look at that. Full flaps. Oh, I wish I could just look out the window the whole time. All right. Work must intrude. Radio altimeter showing 1,200 feet above ground level. Just passing beneath 2,050 feet. Airspeed's perfect, 149, 150. Look at that. Jesus. Unreal.
2 mile final runway 18.
2 mile final. Radio altimeter showing 860 above ground level. Perfectly lined up. We're going to deactivate our auto throttle now. Make sure that that's not overreacting. That's all right. Airspeed's still perfect. 151, 150. Just about to deactivate the autopilot. I test the the throttle now after I deactivate it after that incident in Singapore. If you watch that video.
500.
500.
Okay, we're below 500. Autopilot's deactivated.
Autopilot.
Okay, I have the airplane. Wind seems to have diminished. Vossies are good. Red over white. Middle marker indicator. Try not to float. Coming in over the piano keys. Idle the engines. Little bounce. Nice. I'll take it. Good. Wow, that went fantastic. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to roll out here to the end. I don't know if we're going to get any arrows or what, but kind of a not a flat runway. Interesting. I mean, it's comparatively flat. There's our arrows. Comparatively flat, but I mean, we're in North Dakota after all. But still some undulation I'm noticing.
Approaching runway 1331.
Okay. Let's hang a left right here.
Entered runway 1331.
All right. Welcome to Fargo. Always reminds me of John Candy's line in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Well, welcome to Wichita. All right, so let's go ahead and just clean up the airplane here for a second. Kill the landing lights. Turn on the taxi lights. Turn off the pulse lights. Let's go outside for just a second. Whoops! Yowzers. It's funny how this eye point changes. Bring in those spoilers. Bring in the flaps. Which apparently I can't do from this view. Let's go outside and do them that way. Spoilers. There they go. And flaps retracted. And let's go back in. And let's taxi to parking. I show local time 4:35, but we landed, what, two minutes ago maybe? I don't have to check that later. I said 4:30 and I didn't get us here until 4:33. Disgraceful. Come on, turn, baby. There you go. Those sharp turns are no picnic in this thing. Let's zoom in on our MFD just so we get a better view of the airfield. Come on. There we go. That's better. All right. Look at this guy. Beautiful. Look at that guy. Oh, he's taken off? Yeah, he must be. Yeah, he must be. Must have just taken off from 1-8 after we landed on it. I didn't see anybody on the run-up area or anything, though. That was great. Let's go ahead and stop our timer while we're thinking about it. 2:08. So I assume I started that timer when we began our takeoff roll, but I stopped it, what, maybe 3 minutes, 2-3 minutes after we landed, so I'll call this a 2-hour, 5-minute flight. Beautiful weather, and I mean, comparatively, clear skies. It's cold, you know, it's, well, not that cold, I guess. 9 degrees, that's consistent with real weather I checked out. Steering with the feet, always a task. All right, well, let's see where they're going to put us here. Let's try to stay off the grass. They don't give us a lot of maneuvering room here. Oh boy. Oh! Let's see if I can do this without taking out this. Oh boy. Well, this is, in my defense... Oh, he's moving! That's a real player. I don't know that they gave me enough room to park here, guys. I'll be honest. This looks to be small GA, not a Longitude. Oh boy, this is about as tight a turn as you could ask. Oh my god. Okay, let's try anyway. Oh boy. Oop, okay, sorry about that. Didn't mean to scare you, pal. Man, you didn't give me a lot of room to work with here, buddy. All right. Parking brake. Kill one engine only. Taxi light. Well, actually, let's go look at our baby. Yeah. I mean, that plane looks a little out of place, let's be honest. It's a little bit big. And this guy backed right into me, you dummy. Luckily, there's no impact issues. Yeah, all right. Oh, great. Look at that plane. Good lord. All right. Let's get back inside. Taxi light records. Tail flood off. Depressurize. Dump. And... oh, we'll turn off our pitot heat. Okay. Well, friends. Welcome to Fargo. I have no idea where I'm staying tonight. I have no idea. But we'll see where fate takes us next. Maybe I'll go to Tulsa. Tulsa, Oklahoma after this. There's an idea, right? All right, so when I kill the remaining engine, we're going to switch to the logbook page. So, thanks for joining us. Let's do this and wrap up this fun flight. Oh! I didn't drop to the logbook page. What's that all about? You've seen enough of these videos to know that's what happens. Interesting. Wonder why. Generator. We'll turn off our generator. Turn off our batteries. Still not going to the logbook page. Well, what do you know? All right. Well, they did say they made some modifications to how the logbook works, but yesterday, as I recall, when I turned off the engine, it went to the logbook page. Anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see where the ongoing adventures of 3 Bravo Whiskey take us next. But it's going great, and I'm enjoying it. It's Sunday night, December 6th, so have a good week. Take care.